Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Sarah Hamilton and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. The long-promised direct-to-consumer prescription drug platform from the Trump administration launched last week with little fanfare. The new website, trumprx.gov, represents a key component of President Donald Trump's effort to lower prescription drug costs for Americans. TrumpRx will function as a clearinghouse, connecting patients with pharmaceutical manufacturers selling certain medications directly to consumers who are willing to pay cash and forego insurance. At least 16 drug manufacturers have negotiated agreements with the administration to participate in the portal. President Trump has touted the drug pricing initiative as a major step toward easing Americans' healthcare affordability concerns. President Trump has pushed to expand direct-to-consumer sales as a way to reduce costs by eliminating intermediaries like pharmacy benefit managers from the drug supply chain. The old nuclear arms race between the superpowers reached a peak back in the 70s, but now the United States has accused China of conducting secret nuclear tests as it continues its push for a new arms control treaty, which would include China along with the US and Russia. The claim was made by Thomas DiNanno, the U.S. Undersecretary of State for Arms Control, during a United Nations disarmament conference in Geneva. He said the U.S. believes China has carried out nuclear explosive tests, including one in June of 2020. China rejected the accusation. Its ambassador to the conference, Shen Jian, said the U.S. is exaggerating what he called a so-called China nuclear threat. The allegations come just days after the expiration of the New START treaty, leaving the U.S. and Russia without binding limits on strategic nuclear weapons for the first time in more than 50 years. Russian government officials are blaming Ukraine for an attack on a top Russian military official who was shot several times and wounded at an apartment in Moscow last Friday. Lieutenant General Vladimir Alexeyev was shot by an unidentified assailant and hospitalized. This followed a series of incidents the Kremlin has blamed on Ukraine. Kyiv officials have claimed responsibility for some of the shootings, but hadn't commented on the incident involving Alexeyev. The latest incident took place one day after Russian, Ukrainian, and American negotiators concluded 2 days of negotiations on a peace deal in Abu Dhabi. Russian President Vladimir Putin was reportedly informed about the attack on Alexeyev, according to Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov, who said law enforcement agencies needed to increase protection on senior military officers amid the conflict with Ukraine. In health news, U.S. life expectancy hit a record high of 79 years in 2024, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. This milestone marks the highest average lifespan ever recorded in American history and highlights an upward trend in national longevity. The CDC's latest data reveals that Americans are living longer than ever before, reflecting improvements in healthcare access, disease prevention, and quality of life. While the CDC report did not detail the specific factors behind this rise, public health experts note that ongoing efforts to address chronic disease, expand healthcare services, and promote healthier lifestyles have likely contributed. Further research is expected to shed light on the reasons for this improvement and how it may impact different communities across the United States. Frozen juice concentrate has been a staple from the Minute Maid brand for over 80 years. Now the iconic product that helped revolutionize how Americans consume orange juice will soon vanish from grocery store freezers. Coca-Cola, which owns the Minute Maid brand, announced last week that it's completely exiting the frozen can category in response to shifting consumer preferences. The company will discontinue its entire lineup of frozen juice concentrates in the coming months, with products remaining available only until current supplies run out. The affected products include Minute Maid's frozen orange juice, lemonade, pink lemonade, raspberry lemonade, and limeade concentrates. All frozen products will be discontinued in the first quarter of 2026. While the Minute Maid's frozen concentrates are being discontinued, the brand will continue to offer its fresh juice products, including zero-sugar varieties that were introduced in 2020 to address consumer concerns about added sugars in juices. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
I'm Mayor Erin Joyce, and I'd like to tell you about some important projects we're working on here in Braintree to improve the quality of our local water bodies and to protect our town from the dangers of flooding and stormwater runoff. Stormwater runoff is the water generated from rain and snowmelt that flows over hard surfaces and does not soak into the ground. Stormwater runs through a system of pipes in the street and into our local water bodies, such as the Cochado River, Farm River, Manatequit River, and Sunset Lake. In Braintree, we have a separate sewer system. So what does that mean? That means that there are actually two separate pipes in most streets that carry stormwater and sanitary sewer separately. So when it rains and water washes into our catch basin system, it ties into the stormwater system, which transports water to our water bodies. Over the past 5 years, the town of Braintree has been working hard to maintain and improve our stormwater drainage systems. Now, we're constructing retrofits to the drainage system. These drainage retrofits use the natural process of infiltration to improve water quality and reduce potential flooding in our neighborhoods. At Plain Street Cemetery, we're constructing a bioretention basin. What that is right before the water, which today runs piped to the Manatequit River. This project intercepts that pipe before it goes and discharges into the river. And it creates a place for the water to go first, which is the bioretention basin. And in that basin, plants and engineered soils will filter the water so that that water that's coming off of the neighborhood right now, unfiltered, untreated, will be collected into a rain garden, and that provides a lot of pollution control before the water ultimately makes it to the Manatequit River.
I'm Rachel Horak. I live here in Braintree, and I'm the president of Sustainable Braintree. We think of ways that we can help our residents of Braintree live healthier lives that are in better harmony with our planet. Bioretention Basin at the cemetery site is part of an overall project to expand the Braintree Cemetery. And this project will not impact current burial sites, nor will it impact future burial sites. After the bioretention basin is constructed, we add native plants that help filter out the pollutants so that the water is a little bit cleaner. Some of the ways that residents can help are reduce the amount of fertilizers that you use on your lawn, picking up pet waste, reducing the amount of garbage in our streets, and also raking the catch basins that you might see on the roadways.
To pay for these projects, we're leveraging grants from the Mass DEP, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and the Metropolitan Area Planning Council. As a Braintree resident, you should know that the town is actively working on projects that help improve the water quality in our water bodies. With your help and these projects, we will help filter pollution and keep Braintree's rivers, lakes, and streams beautiful for years to come.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Sarah Hamilton. Now we'll be getting into more stories. There's a new restaurant opening up in Braintree. Liberty at the Landing Tavern and Restaurant will open with a new concept at 35 Commercial Street in Braintree. The restaurant is set to open in the coming weeks, according to co-owner Nick Palermo. If the name sounds familiar, it's because the trio behind the restaurant are the same ones who own and operate Liberty Tavern in Quincy. Palermo, Evan Harrington, and Michael Johnson opened Liberty Tavern, located at 1647 Hancock Street. So what will Liberty at the Landing be like? Palermo said Liberty at the Landing will be a classic American tavern with a modern twist and city vibes. Expect tavern-style pizza, the Landing Smash Burger, pulled pork baked mac and cheese, smoked wings, moss nachos, and more. Similar to the menu at Liberty Tavern, but with its own distinction. It will be open daily for dinner and Friday through Sunday for lunch. The restaurant will have a 12-seat bar and several TVs to watch sporting events. Local veterans are invited to a special community coffee hour later this month. The Braintree Veterans Service Office will host a Veterans Coffee Hour on Tuesday, February 24th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at 74 Pond Street on the second floor. The event is open to veterans from Braintree, Holbrook, and Avon. Several local officials are expected to attend, including State Senators James Keenan and Bill Driscoll, State Representative Mark Cusack, and Braintree Mayor Aaron Joyce. Organizers say the goal of the event is to give veterans the opportunity to ask questions directly to their state and local leaders. A buffet breakfast will be served. Veterans planning to attend are encouraged to reach out in advance so organizers can get a head count. If you're interested, contact Braintree Veterans Service Office at 781-794-8217. In other veteran news, the Braintree Veterans Services Center has announced that the Veterans Pantry is back up and running. The pantry is now accepting donations of new clothing, toiletries, and non-perishable food items, all of which go directly towards supporting local veterans in need. The pantry serves veterans in Braintree, Holbrook, and Avon. Donations can be dropped off at the Veterans Service Center located at 74 Pond Street in Braintree. Town officials say the reopening of the pantry ensures veterans continue to have access to essential resources and support within the community. Here's a look at some public meetings scheduled for this week. On February 9th, the Community Preservation Committee meets at 5 p.m. in the Johnson Chambers at Town Hall. Also at 5 p.m., the School Building Committee meets at the Colbert Administrative Building. The Board of Library Trustees meets at 6 p.m. at their public library, followed by the School Committee meeting at 6:30 p.m., also at the Colbert Administrative Building. On February 10th, the Housing Authority meets at 7 p.m. in the Marjorie L. Crispin Elderly Housing Community Room. That same evening, the Planning Board holds its monthly meeting at 7 p.m. in the Cahill Auditorium at Town Hall. On February 11th, the School Committee meets at 6:30 p.m. at Braintree High School. And finally, on February 13th, the Council on Disabilities Planning Subcommittee meets via Zoom at 10:30 a.m. Here's a look at what's happening around Braintree. At their public library, the Teen Advisory Board will host its monthly meeting in the Team Room at the library on February 11th at 6:30 p.m. Then on February 12th, a virtual program about Boston Light, America's oldest lighthouse, will be held on Zoom at 7 p.m. To register, visit the library's website at theirpubliclibrary.libcal.com. The Braintree Recreation Department is offering a Central Rock gym climbing clinic now through February 11th and again from February 18th through March 25th. They're also running a kids test kitchen program through February 24th, meeting Tuesdays at 5 p.m. In addition, Super Soccer Stars is hosting youth soccer sessions now through March 28th at the Liberty Elementary School gym, focusing on skill building and teamwork in a fun, supportive environment. On February 15th, see the Providence Bruins versus the Bridgeport Islanders. The bus departs at 1:15 p.m. from the Braintree Recreation Office, located at 74 Pond Street. Tickets are $45. For more information, call the Recreation Department at 781-794-8900. And that's your weekly snapshot. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area. But first, here's a look at events happening this month at the Braintree Senior Center, located at 71 Cleveland Ave in Braintree. The Braintree Senior Center is offering a wide range of activities this February, from daily fitness and social programs to special events and presentations. First, a look at the center's regular offerings. Fitness classes are held daily. Mondays feature bocce coffee hours at 9:30, a walking group at 10, and men's coffee hour at 11. Pool players meet Mondays and Fridays at noon, with pool lessons Thursdays at 12:30. Game days run Tuesdays from 10 to 3, while Asian outreach is held Wednesdays at 11 a.m., followed by GEMS exercise at 1. Creative groups include quilting Thursdays at 11:30, knitting at 1, and movies Fridays at 12:30. The center is also hosting several special February events. The Cornhole League meets February 2nd and 9th at 1 p.m. A low vision group meets February 3rd at 10 a.m. Bingo takes place February 4th and 18th at 12:50. A Valentine's Day musical is scheduled for February 11th at 1 p.m. For more offerings, a photography class on February 12th and 26th, a hip-hop dance class on February 13th, and a full day of programming on February 20th, including spa day by appointment, book club, a KevTech iPhone and iPad class, and an advisory board meeting. Additional events include a craft class on February 23rd, just lunch on February 24th, and an Alzheimer's presentation that afternoon. A 250th anniversary Abigail Adams presentation on February 25th, which is free to attend. For more information or to sign up, residents are encouraged to contact the Braintree Senior Center directly, located at 71 Cleveland Avenue in Braintree, Massachusetts. Call 781-848-1963 after 9:30 a.m. February 2nd to sign up for all programs.
Hi, I'm State Representative Bruce Ayers, and I'd like to introduce you to the Helping Hand program. With rising healthcare costs, all too often we hear stories about our seniors, veterans, and neighbors who may not have the proper insurance coverage they need for durable medical equipment. These individuals may be living on a fixed income and may not have the financial resources necessary to cover the cost of the equipment they need. We have a solution. The Helping Hand program provides free, durable medical equipment to residents in need. Items such as wheelchairs, walkers, crutches, canes, commodes, tub seats, and hospital beds are available through the program. We receive donations of lightly used equipment and store them at our facility in North Quincy. If you're in need of any of these items, you can pick them up free of charge and return them after any length of time.
My scooters improve my mobility and independence. Thanks to Helping Hand, I can go to the store, visit the boardwalk, and do so much more.
Helping Hand is a great resource for people who don't have insurance coverage.
The Helping Hand program is successful thanks to the generosity of people who have donated durable medical equipment to our inventory. For more information about the program or to fill out an equipment request form, visit our website or call 617-472-9877. If you know someone in need of these items, we're always available to lend a helping hand.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. There's more controversy surrounding the White Stadium renovation project in Boston. The original price tag for Boston taxpayers was set to an estimate of $50 million. The newly projected cost for the stadium overhaul has jumped to over $135 million. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu held a press conference citing inflation and increased costs of construction materials for the price hike. Mayor Wu is still backing the project, saying, "I want to be loud and clear here. Our Boston kids deserve nothing less than the best, and we are going to continue to fight for them to have every possible opportunity. This creates the chance for their facilities to match their talent and their potential, for the resources to be there to fund that year after year after year." The historic stadium in Boston's Franklin Park was built in the 1950s. After years of decline, redevelopment efforts are underway to turn it into a student athletic center and host Boston's women's soccer team, Boston Legacy FC. A group of residents known as the Franklin Park Defenders has been speaking out against the construction and says this newest revelation is yet another reason the project needs to be stopped. Police in Hingham are warning residents after an 89-year-old woman was scammed out of $21,000. Police say the woman reported on February 3rd that she received an online message claiming to be from Microsoft, prompting her to call a phone number, and the caller told her bank account had been hacked and directed her to call what was claimed to be her bank's fraud department. Investigators say the number she was given was also fake. The scammer then instructed the woman to wire money to what was described as a federal organization, claiming it would help track the suspects and recover her funds. She also sent a photo of her driver's license before wiring the money. The woman and her family are now working with the bank in an effort to recover the funds. Police are reminding residents, especially seniors, to be cautious. They say never click on pop-ups or unsolicited messages, and never trust phone numbers provided in those alerts. If you need to contact your bank, use the number on your card, a bank statement, or the official website. The Gabriel House fire last summer in Fall River was a tragedy that killed 10 residents. Now the federal government's workplace safety watchdog agency has fined the company that ran Gabriel House more than $170,000 for safety violations it found during inspections. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration has fined Gabriel Care Inc., the company that operated Gabriel House, for 13 workplace safety violations. Gabriel Care is contesting the OSHA fines, a process that allows the company to challenge the citations and proposed penalties through the agency's administrative system. Gabriel House owner Dennis Etzkorn declined to comment, citing the ongoing investigation into the fire. It's been a staple for pizza lovers for years. Now Pizza Hut is planning to close 250 underperforming locations in the United States this year, according to parent company Yum Brands. The closures are part of the company's Hut Forward strategy. The announcement comes after Pizza Hut's store sales declined by 3% in the fourth quarter of 2025. In November of 2025, Yum Brands, which also owns Taco Bell, KFC, and Habit Burger and Grill, announced a formal review of strategic options for the Pizza Hut brand, with a sale as a possibility. Pizza Hut operates more than 6,000 locations in the United States. The planned closure of 250 stores would amount to a 4% reduction of its U.S. locations. So how many stores will close in Massachusetts? The company hasn't made its formal announcement, but Pizza Hut operates 35 Pizza Hut locations in Massachusetts. The affected locations will close during the first half of 2026, according to Yum Brands. Valentine's Day is around the corner, but before you start stocking up on all the chocolates, there's a recall announced for one of your favorites. The FDA has announced a recall of repackaged M&Ms that do not include required allergen warnings. Beacon Promotions issued the recall on over 6,000 units of M&Ms that were repackaged with promotional branding for a variety of different companies. The affected products, which contain bags of both classic M&Ms and M&M peanuts, do not alert consumers to top allergens in the product, meaning milk, soy, and peanuts, all of which can cause life-threatening reactions to those with allergies. The affected M&Ms were distributed across 20 U.S. states, including Massachusetts. The FDA has issued a Class 2 recall for these M&M products, meaning that consuming the product, if you have an allergy or sensitivity to milk, soy, or peanuts, may cause temporary or medically reversible adverse health consequences. While the affected candy is fine to consume if you don't have any allergies, if you do, it is advised that you discard the affected product and do not consume it. Thank you for tuning in to Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more on entertainment and sports.
Hi, I'm Tom Lyons, a retired captain from the Quincy Fire Department and the author of the book Fighting Fire, A Proactive Approach. Do you know that electrical failures are the third leading cause of home fires? Cords and plugs led in this category, while extension cords dominated this category. To avoid these fires, plug heat-generated appliances directly into an outlet. Do not use power strips or extension cords on these appliances. Power strips are designed for use with electronics only. Do not put electrical cords underneath rugs or pinch behind furniture. Do not overload outlets. Charge laptops and phones on hard surfaces only. Finally, if an electrical device is not working as designed, it is time to repair it or replace it. Be conscious of your home environment and be safe, and thank you for doing so.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. First, in local sports, here's Chris Curran.
Going into the final stretch of the season, Braintree moves to 7-9 after losing 3 games to Brookline, Walpole, and Needham, and winning 2 against Weymouth and Wellesley. This leaves Braintree just outside the playoff picture. MIAA has them ranked at 40th in Division I play. Let's look at some highlights from the Needham game. Coming into this game, Needham was the 6th seed, only losing 1 game all season. Braintree did a good job at keeping the game close in the first, only being down 16-10. 9 of Braintree's 10 points were 3-pointers. Braintree closed the gap very marginally going into half, being down by 5. Braintree was down by 10 at one point in the second, but went on a 9-4 run to close out the quarter. In the third, Braintree was able to get within 2 before letting it slip away. Going into the fourth, Braintree was still in it, being down by 6, 38-32. Needham took the biggest lead of the game, 13, with 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the game. This put the game out of reach for Braintree, who ended up losing 58-46. It seems as though the boys will have to win the remainder of their games to have a shot at making the playoffs. They finished the season with 3 out of their 4 games being at home. They go on the road to play Milton, but are home to play Oliver Ames, Norwell, and Plymouth. As for the girls' team, they are 12-4 and rank 11th by MIAA. This puts them in prime position to have a home playoff game, maybe even 2. They had a hot end to January and start to February, going 5-1 in their last 6, and they are on a 3-game win streak. Their wins are over Bridgewater Raynham, Brookline, Wellesley, Weymouth, and Needham, and their loss is against Walpole, who is ranked 6th in Division II play. They go on to play Milton at home and Quincy on the road, as well as having a small tournament game against Woburn, and go on to play whoever wins or loses the other side of the bracket. These games will take place at Emmanuel College. While boys hockey has had a tough go of it this season, they are 4-10-2 and ranked 29th. Their last 2 wins come with 4 straight losses in between. It's hard to string wins together when they come so far apart from one another. Both of their wins also come by only 1 goal. A 1-0 win versus Wellesley and an overtime win 4-3 versus Needham. Their 4 straight losses come against Woburn, Walpole, Franklin, and Weymouth. As of right now, they have a playoff spot, but need to win their last 2 games to make sure they don't fall out of contention. Their last 2 games are away against both Milton and Arlington. The girls' hockey team has done a complete 180 of their previous season. They are 9-4-3 so far in the season and ranked 25th. They are 4-2 in their last 6 games, with wins over Brookline, Wellesley, Walpole, and Needham. Their losses come against Archbishop Williams and Weymouth. In their wins, they have a goal differential of 17-5 and only 4-0 in their losses. Being ranked 25th does not guarantee them a playoff spot with 4 games left. They finished their last 4 games against Milton, King Philip, Arlington, and Archbishop Williams. We hope all teams have a great end to the season, and you can catch any live or rebroadcast of some of the home games on Comcast Channel 9 or 1073, Verizon Channel 21 or 2128, our YouTube channel BCAM TV, or our website bcam.tv. Now let's send it back to Sarah in the studio.
Thanks, Chris. Now let's get right into some entertainment news. It may not be the Oscars or the Emmys, but many in the acting community look forward to the announcement of the Hasty Pudding Award. The Hasty Pudding Theatrical Society has named actor Michael Keaton and actress Rose Byrne as its Man and Woman of the Year for 2026. The annual award, presented by the theater at Harvard University, has been given to performers who have made lasting and impressive contributions to the world of entertainment. Keaton is known for his roles as Batman and Beetlejuice. Oscar-nominated Rose Byrne has starred in hits like Bridesmaids and Insidious. Celebrations for the Man of the Year took place last Friday, with Keaton being paraded through town and roasted by the Harvard Comedy Club, later being presented with the Hasty Pudding pudding pot. Byrne will have a similar celebration on February 13th, after her celebration was postponed due to cold weather. Now here are some movies and shows that have been creating some social buzz. First, Queen of Chess is a documentary that follows a Hungarian girl who dreams of conquering international men's chess. After a 15-year battle against world champion Garry Kasparov, Judith Polgar revolutionized the sport's patriarchal culture to become one of the greatest chess prodigies in history and the greatest women chess player of all time. The documentary is directed by Rory Kennedy, and you can watch Queen of Chess now on Netflix. Up next, Yo Bestie follows Thando, who has always been unlucky in love, and faces jealousy when her best friend Charles returns from his travels engaged. As she agrees to be the best man at his destination wedding in Kinsia, they must confront their true feelings to determine if they are just friends or destined lovers before the wedding. The film stars Katligo Lebogang and Didi Makobane. You can watch Yo Bestie now on Netflix. Finally, Ella McKay follows a 34-year-old who becomes the governor of the state she was born and raised in. However, navigating relationships with her husband, father, and brother may just be her biggest challenge yet. The film stars Emma Mackey and Jamie Lee Curtis. You can watch Ella McKay now on Disney+. That'll do it for news today. Don't forget, Verizon customers can watch BCAM TV in high definition on channel 2128 and Comcast on channel 1073. I'm Sarah Hamilton, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll see you next time.